Hey there viewers, it's Charlie. I'm back again with another Transformers review. And today, it shall be on Energon Shockblast. No, not Shockwave. Allow me to explain. Around the time of Armada or Energon, Hasbro lost the trademark to Shockwave. So instead of calling him Laser Wave, which honestly I feel would be a better solution, they just called him Shock Blast. And it's not just with this figure, they also did it with Alternator Shockwave, they just called it Shock Blast. Something similar happened to Skyfire, so in Energon they just called him Sky Blast. Of course, since then, Hasbro's managed to get the trademark to Shockwave back, but they still use Shock Blast on the G.I. Joe Shockwave. So, yeah. But that's enough on the name lesson. So, as we can see, Shockwave here is, or Shock Blast. Yeah, I'm sorry. If I call him Shockwave at any point in the video, I'm sorry, I mean Shock Blast. But yeah, Shock Blast here is supposed to be like a Cybertronian laser tank. I mean, sure, why not? So yeah, not really much to say. I mean, it's just a Cybertronian tank with a huge laser turret. Normally, he comes with a missile, but of course, I don't have it. Yeah. Here we can see this CE thing, meaning it's a European copy. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about this mode. There's pretty much nothing else to say. He does have licensed sounds, but I'll show that in another mode. This guy is a triple changer. I am not joking. If you remember my review on... Well, if you remember... This is where my tongue stops working. If you remember my reviews on Energon Megatron, Starscream, and Demolisher... Well, I said that they have hyper modes, because they're Decepticons. And Shock Blast here is no exception, although his hyper mode isn't just some flip out things, it's an entire new mode altogether. So to get Shock Blast into his hyper mode, lift up the cannon. Oh, and before I continue, one complaint is this comes off quite easily. This just untabs really easily. But lift this up. Turn this entire thing around. Try and push in the treads if you can. There we go. Take the front treads and split them. And then turn them around. And turn this bit around. And turns out, no, you don't push these in. That's for his robot mode. Yeah, as you can see, I haven't transformed this guy in a few days, because normally when I get new Transformers, I mess with them the first day, and then I wait until I do the YouTube review before I start messing with them again. But keep the treads out so you can actually move them out, and then just try and peg them in. Sometimes easier said than done. I know this is off camera, but excuse me. Okay now, so I've managed to get these plugged in without raging, mind you. So now come here, lift this bit down. So it's a stabilizer. Come in here. Fold out these little solar bits. And even lift this up. And finally, this is where we see the lights and sounds, or, well, just sounds. If you just listen. So, did you hear that? That's the noises you make. Or that's the noises he makes. So here we have Shockblast in his hyper mode, which is actually this huge satellite. So, yeah. So, yeah, this guy turns into a satellite. And as you can see, I am missing another bit, but oh well. I mean, we've got these little flip-out solar panels here, which is a really nice touch. Plus, this guy did the satellite alternate mode thing way before Soundwave and RTF. So, yeah. But if we just get this guy back into his satellite mode... And when I say satellite mode, I of course mean tank mode. Apologies. But yeah, here we have Shockblast back in his tank mode. So now let's get on with this guy's actual robot mode transformation. Well, to start, get the shreds and push them back. There we go. Just lift this up again to get out of the way. Then turn this 90 degrees. And then untab the back shreds and there we go. Come in here. Untab the legs. Move around the feet. And just spread them like so. This guy's obviously getting big, so now we're going to have to raise up. Get this out the way so you can get that in. Then come in here. Fold in the shreds. And hopefully we can actually get this out the way. Then you can just get down his back. Take this whole cannon bit and just move that down. Take this, untab it, and just move that down. And this bitch is not wanting to cooperate, so there we go. And finally, take the head and just turn that 90 degrees. And well, here we have Shockblast in his robot modes. Well, yeah, this is definitely just Shockwave. Although there are a few differences. I mean, for one, the colors are a bit different. While Shockwave is normally just purple and that's it. Here we have a bit of green for the arm, the chest, the eye. So yeah, this guy's got a bit of a neon color to him. Because instead of having just purple, he has this green on him. I mean, with G1 Shockwave, the eye was actually golden or yellow, and it actually flashed when he spoke. From what I can remember, when Shockblast spoke in the Energon series, his eye just did not flash whatsoever. Even then, Shockblast was way more psychopathic than Shockwave ever was. I mean, this guy was like Wild Rider in personality. Just psychopathic, violent. Whereas with G1 Shockwave, he was more just a scientist. Or, well, he was either loyal to Megatron or he just wanted leadership, depending on if you prefer the cartoon or the Marvel comic. But, well, to put it simply, G1 Shockwave was never this psychopathic. Also, well, G1 Shockwave also had a laser arm. It was not as big as this. I mean, like, this is actually reminding me of a scene from Family Guy where Quagmire found out about internet stuff, and he just stayed in his house for days, and when he finally emerged, his left arm was just all bulky like this, all ripped. That's what this reminds me of. I mean, with G1 Shockwave, it was just a little, like, laser nozzle at the end of his arm, but yeah, this looks like it could do some serious damage. And well, it can, because you can still deploy the like the solar panel for the hyper mode. So you can still like fire missiles if you want to. So let's have a look at Shockblast's head. As you can see, well, it's Shockwave or Shockblast's head. I mean, we have the antenna, the square head, and the singular Cyclops eye. That is Shockwave, no doubt about it. For once, put my camera down without covering the lens. So for this guy's articulation, head can move. It can actually look up. So that's pretty cool. With the turret arm, it can move up on a ratchet. Can't really swivel, but it can move out. With this arm, it can do the same, although we have some added arm articulation. Plus, the hand can open, as you saw earlier. Waist articulation, which is pretty cool. Legs move up that far. And if you can do it without untapping the back, it can go back that far, so he can do a Mario jump. If he just lifts one of his arms up. He can do the splits, because these things can move out, but the arms get in the way, so I'll just show you like this. And finally, the feet actually swivel. So yeah, Shockblast here is actually quite posable. So before I end this review, a couple of negatives. If I can get this guy standing in a good way that's not leaning over. Because that's actually one of the complaints. This arm can be quite bulky, so often it makes him lean a little bit. Also, the back treads in the tank mode, they can untab quite easily, so that can be annoying. Not as annoying as landmine stuff untabbing, though, if you remember that review. But it's still quite irritating. Also, this is just a nitpick, but I find the neon green a bit jarring. But that's just me saying that. So, that's pretty much it for my review on Shockblast. Do I recommend him? Well, despite his flaws, yeah. Because this guy, I mean, sure, he's not called Shockwave, but you could still call him Shockwave if you want to. Whether it's Shockwave or Shockblast, this guy is amazing. I mean, he looks really good on a shelf. The satellite mode is actually quite cool. And while the tank mode's a bit lame in my opinion, the satellite and robot modes do make up for that. So yeah, this guy's amazing, and I actually recommend him over his recolor or brother. Yes, in the Energon cartoon, this guy had a younger brother. A recolor of him named Six Shot. Yes, Six Shot. He didn't turn into 6 modes though, it's only just the 3 modes. But yeah, this guy had a recolor named Six Shot, who was pretty much this figure, but in the colors of Generation 2 Onslaught. Yellow with purple camouflage. I just find that ridiculous. But if you don't mind that, then sure, go for both Shockblast and Six Shot. But if you only want one, go for Shockblast. So yeah, this has been my review on Shockblast, and this is Charlie Young signing off.